This video is for introverts that are probably struggling a little bit in this post-pandemic world that we're in. And in this video, I'm gonna break down probably what our biggest problem is as introverts in the world today, and also what we can do about it. Now, I say this post-pandemic world because I think a lot of introverts were secretly thriving in the pandemic. We secretly loved that we didn't have to be pressured into doing anything. We loved just being in our bubble, being incubated. And now that that sort of incubation period is over, it feels like things have come back 5 times harder. And this is ultimately what the problem actually is. The problem is that it is a little bit harder for introverts to cope with society today. And I think this is for 2 reasons. The first reason is that a lot of introverts get drained really quickly, and because things are operating really fast and it's such a difference to how things were operating a few years ago, we are drained. That's the first reason. The second reason is I think we are lonely. We are like 2 years into this loneliness epidemic, and that's something that is also really hard to cope with. Now, during the pandemic, it felt like everybody was given breathing room, except for people that probably were living in apartments. But everybody was given their chance to just survive, just relax, survive, try not to lose your mind, and find a hobby to keep you in your bubble. And now, since that Band-Aid has been ripped off, it's 2025 now, and it's like, all right, let's make money, let's find a relationship. You know, there's all of these things where it feels like there's 5 times as much pressure on everybody because things have gotten more expensive now than ever, and social media has grown to this place where it is just in our face all the time. And this is why the first reason introverts are probably really drained right now, having to work as hard as we're having to work. You know, it's not work from home anymore for a lot of people, it's get to work. So we are back doing these jobs. We're probably, not making as much money because everything has gotten more expensive and our wages haven't been going up with the prices. So we're working harder and effectively making less. And now, after the pandemic, social media is in our lives so much. We are constantly seeing comparisons. We're seeing other people broadcast themselves in this grandiose way where it can feel like we are not doing as well as maybe we could or should be doing. That pressure is like in our face. And that's what I think will drain a lot of introverts, is feeling the pressure to do stuff, feeling the pressure to be earning a certain amount of money, whatever the case is. There's a lot of pressure going around because of comparison. Social media is the king at showing you all of the things that I guess you want and other people have that you don't have. And probably one of the big things that we can compare ourselves to is people that have relationships, people that are in relationships versus people that are single. And even if you are in a relationship, sometimes loneliness can hit you harder. And that's, I think, the second reason why it's really hard to cope today. Loneliness is at an all-time high. In 2023, I was reading this article on NPR. In 2023, I believe it was the Surgeon General. His name, I think, is Vivek Murthy, something like that. And he was just talking about loneliness being an actual epidemic, and loneliness causing stress, and loneliness basically being detrimental to mental health and emotional health so much that it actually is a detriment to our physical health. Now, you're probably thinking, I get it. This is the problem. I get it. I'm well aware of the problem. What can we do about it? Well, this is what I think we can do about this. First of all, if the external pressure has leveled up. The external things from societies, society has leveled up on stress and pressure on us. So what we have to do is we have to level up our internal state. We have to level up our ability to decompress. If society and social media and all of these things are putting pressure on us, we have to level up our ability to decompress, to depressurize all of these things. And it starts, number one, with awareness. It starts with the awareness of the pressure that society is putting on us. And now this is kind of like a side note, but in terms of loneliness and dating and stuff like that, like I had to completely rid my algorithm of anything that was getting me down the rabbit hole of missing a relationship or something like that. I had to completely get out, all of the booty videos, all of the really like sexualized stuff. I really wanted that out of my algorithm. I wanted to kind of course correct because it felt like that was something that was putting pressure on me. So having that awareness is number one. Being able to notice when you are getting pressure from other things, other people, society, social media, anything. Notice when it's starting to have an influence on you. Notice when it's starting to create stress or thoughts or pressure. And the next step is leveling up our self-care. After we can be aware of the pressure coming at us, now we can step into how do we decompress? How do we sidestep away from that pressure? How do we effectively deal with it and let it go? And ultimately for me, I've been on this journey of constantly trying to improve on myself. And what has been giving me so much confidence in myself as an introvert and as a person is to be consistently working on the stuff that I like to do. That's what we were doing in COVID. That's what we were doing when we were in lockdown. We had to focus on just do what you like to do, right? When we were in survival mode, we were given that privilege and ability to do what we love. So I've been sidestepping into doing what I love, making that a priority, and also trying new things that will help alleviate pressure for me. I first started out with meditation. Meditation was a huge game changer for me a couple years ago. That was almost immediately alleviating pressure. And I've been doing so many different kinds of meditation since I started, and then I sidestepped into writing down what was going in my head. You wouldn't believe how quickly the pressure will just release from you if you can get it out of your head and onto paper. And the third thing, and this is something that I've just been doing recently, but I kind of bought myself a sauna. And you'll never believe that like a sauna can actually make an immediate impact, but it has. And I bought this sauna box, and it's like a portable thing. I put it in the basement, and it's been really cool. I've been putting my dad onto this. I've been putting my brother onto this. So it's just something where I put myself in a space, crank up the sauna, and I just tell myself to let everything go. Just like in meditation, except this time it's like consciously letting things go, consciously. And if you're interested in giving that a shot, I'll put a link to the sauna box in the description. This is something that was a total game changer for me. And now lastly, before I go, the thing that we can do as introverts is step into our power. When we have awareness for what's bringing us down, and then we can sidestep and alleviate that, now it's time to level up. Now it's time to actually rise above that stuff. And that's gonna come from, like I said, doing what you love and making it a priority, being more confident in yourself, and also expanding your comfort zone. Life, or the lifestyle that we have of being an introvert, sometimes we can have a better, more expansive version for ourselves. We can sometimes be too incubated in our comfort zone. And I think the more we can press up against the walls of our comfort zone and expand our comfort zone, the more we are actually stepping into our power. So I created a couple videos on this, and I'll put them down in a second, but Step into your power. Stop comparing yourself to things on social media. Just focus on what you're doing. You are on your own path. Embrace your journey. When you feel those thoughts of comparison come up, try to let them go. Try to be aware of them and stop pressuring yourself to be something that you're not, all right? Step into your power. It is awesome to be an introvert, and that is what I talk about in this video right here. This is why being an introvert is actually a superpower, all right? Check out that video right here. And this video up here, this is a video about confidence. This is something that all introverts need a pep talk on every now and again. So I'll see you in one of those videos. Stay creative.